Welcome to Hex and Harmony, episode 13. So obviously we had to talk about superstitions today. We're diving headfirst into the weird world of old wives' tales, folk omens, cursed numbers, and maybe even a haunted fiddle or two. So grab your lucky charm, knock on some wood, and let's conjure up some old-fashioned irrational fear, witch style. So hi everybody, this is Pagan, and I'm here with my friends Michelle and Bailey. And we're all talking about the superstitions and the number 13 in honor of our episode number 13. How y'all doing?
I am fantastic.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know about y'all, and I don't know if it's because I always like to be contrary from everybody else, but like 13 is a lucky number for me.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with the number.
It's my favorite number.
I mean, I think maybe it just started because everybody was out, oh, it's Friday the 13th. Oh, I'm so scared. And I'm just like, whatever. It's like the best day for me. It's my lucky day, just because I wanted to be different. But it really, I mean, maybe it's just all in the mind, but it's become, kind of a lucky charm for me.
Honey, everything is all in the mind.
Yes. But I did a little bit of research and I said, well, why is Friday the 13th unlucky? Or why is just the number 13, supposedly an unlucky or a cursed number or whatever? And just from the just very shallow research that I did, I found out that it actually goes all the way back to ancient Greece and the Pythagoreans, the students of Pythagoras. They were into divine mathematics, and the power of numbers and stuff like that. And to them, the number 12 was the perfect number. And number 13, they didn't call it unlucky. They didn't call it, cursed or bad. But number 13 represented upsetting the status quo. Because 12 was their perfect number and 13 went beyond that. So it was just like outside of normal. To them.
Advocate, what about 14, 15, 16, blah, blah?
Well, because 13 came immediately after 12, it's what broke the thing.
I have to be facetious.
But it goes, I mean, it went on and on into medieval times and the Middle Ages. They began looking at the number 13 as unlucky, and they have superstitions surrounding the number 13, where that the 13th guest at a dinner party is an unlucky person. So they just tradition is not to have 13 people at your table, because that's unlucky. And in the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci painted The Last Supper. And in the painting of The Last Supper, there are actually 13 guests, and Judas is the 13th guest.
Right.
And what's really funny about that painting is also in the painting it shows Judas knocking over the salt cellar. So
Mm.
like that's a double unlucky whammy on Judas in the painting.
Sucks to be him.
It does. There's also an old tale in the Norse myth about the dinner with Baldur's death, that the 13th guest at that dinner was Loki, and Loki tricked somebody into killing Baldur, and it brought
Right.
around Baldur's death, and that's another thing that's attributed to the number 13.
13.
So, with the number 12 and the number 13, the number 12, because of Pythagoras, continued to be considered like the whole number, and it filtered down into, we even have now 12 months in a year. We have 12 hours between 12 hours a day and 12 hours of night on a calendar. 12 hours AM, 12 hours PM on the clock. All of those things just kind of culminated, and 13 just became known as the disruptor, the unlucky, the one too many, the going too far, type energy. And interestingly, witchcraft and paganism, and maybe whoever did this was thinking the same way I was about embracing what is supposed to be so terrible, but 13 is sacred. We have 13 full moons. Traditional covens are supposed to, according to Gerald Gardner and Wicca, they're supposed to have 13 members, and 13 is tied to the divine feminine. It's the number of menstrual cycles in a year, and aligning with the moon and with fertility, and 13 espets a year, which are the full moon espets, basically, totaling 13 a year. The ancient Egyptians believed that the afterlife was the 13th stage of life. Even many buildings now, modern buildings, will skip the 13th floor. They'll label it something else because they don't want to label it the 13th floor. And a lot of airlines skip row 13 and name
Ooh, I
that
didn't know
row
that.
something different. And in my research, it also said that some hospitals even omit room 13 and name it something else.
See, I'm like, you can give it a name of whatever you want it to be,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
it's
still
still
the 13
13.
because
It
13
still is.
follows 12. So
Right.
you can call it 5,000 if you want to, but it's still 13.
Still 13.
No, they would call it the sunrise room or the whatever room. But also, Apollo 13 was the only NASA mission that experienced a critical failure. And that helped to fuel the superstition. It was unlucky number 13.
Wow.
So, just in summary, the number 13 terrifies the status quo. It empowers the liminal. It represents both endings and beginnings, death and rebirth. It marks outsiders and disruptors. So that is my little treatise on the number 13. So what do you guys have to say about the number 13?
It's a number. It's like any other number. No, I mean, I'm kidding when I say that because I do believe in superstitions and everything. And a lot of times I think that while the number itself originally was just a number, it has the connotations that our collective consciousness is put behind it over the many, many, many thousands of years. So yeah, it's just what it is. It's like anything else. It's what you believe it to be.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like, swear by or follow it like a religion, but I am just so um, enamored with numerology.
Me too.
And in
Me too.
numerology, the number 13 is just 4 because you add 1 and 3. So, I mean, it's
Right.
just going to take on the attributes of the number 4.
Right.
It's not,
Right.
we are supposedly in numerology, you have master numbers like 11 and 22 are master numbers, but 13 isn't considered a master number. It would not be held separate. It would just be combined to the number 4.
And I think the reason it's not considered a master number is because it's not like double digits of the same thing. Like 11 is
Right.
1, 1, and 22,
Right.
2, 2. So you can add 11 to get 2, and you can add 22 to get 4, but they're special because they're doubles of the same thing. Whereas 13, you would just add and get 4.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, it's true. So, what is the weirdest superstition you actually follow, and when did it start?
Gosh, I don't know. I
Mm.
follow pretty much all superstitious beliefs because, and my husband, he'll laugh if he was here with us right now. He would laugh because he says I'm an extremely superstitious person.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, I know everything's in the mind and whatever, but I kind of like being superstitious because it gives a little extra fun and meaning to things.
Yeah.
Besides just being everything intellectual, because I'm very intellectual anyway. I'm very in my brain and left brain person. So to me, choosing to be superstitious, and I do think it's a choice because I like to do it. I want to do it. I want to believe that. So I think it's because I need a little frivolity or a little extra sparkle in my
Mhm.
brain because otherwise I'm very analytical and very not crafty, not artsy, not anything. It's just like facts. So, yeah. But I can't say what would be the weirdest or the strangest because I kind of follow them all. And anything I know of. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of superstitions I don't follow because I don't know about them yet. But when I
Mhm.
do, I'll probably believe them too.
You step on cracks.
I don't
Yeah.
step on cracks because, well, my mother has passed away, but I don't want to break her back.
Well, I can remember when I was like really, really young, my mom always had, I don't want to say always had back problems, but she would complain about her back hurting or whatever. So when I was really, really young, I was terrified to step on a crack.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I can't step on a crack because I don't want to break my mother's back.
Right.
I won't say that I believe in superstitions. I might, acknowledge them when they come along, but I don't actually, believe that stepping on a crack is going to break my mother's back or
Mhm.
that I'm, going to have bad luck if I walk under a ladder.
Mhm.
But I
I'm not
still,
fake with that one. I'm not going to walk under a ladder because I don't want to
yeah,
see if it's correct or not.
yeah. I mean, I don't really believe it, but I will still walk around the ladder and not under it if I have a choice,
Mhm.
I mean, you know, if I spill salt, I always throw a pinch over my left shoulder, not because I actually believe the devil is standing behind me on the left, but just out of habit, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. Um, I don't know if there's any that well, I don't walk under ladders because it's not safe to walk on. To me, it's just not safe to walk under a ladder, especially if somebody's on it.
Yeah.
Um, I love 13, so I don't do anything regarding 13. Um, like Tatum was saying, when I was younger, I didn't want to step on cracks, but at this stage, I don't pay much attention to cracks. There's just too many to be worried about at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually believe it's going to happen. And like superstitions, I grew up with superstitions. Like I can remember being little and my grandma telling us not to split the pole, which means if we're like out walking somewhere and there's a light pole or a fire hydrant or whatever, there's a pole, everybody has to go on the same side of the pole. You can't have one person walk on one side and the other person walk on the other side. You can't split the pole
Right, I do that.
because that's
I
bad
definitely
luck.
do that. Right.
And still to this day, I am not allowed to do laundry, wash dishes, or sweep on New Year's Day.
Yep, I won't
Why
do
is that?
those.
Why is that? I never
Um,
heard
it,
that one.
if you sweep on New Year's Day, you'll sweep all your luck away. And
Oh,
if you do laundry or wash dishes on New Year's Day, you could be washing someone out of your life.
okay.
And there's a lot of stuff around New Year's Day. We also, every New Year's Day, we have to have greens. And what is the other one? Some kind of bean or something?
Black-eyed peas and collard
Black-eyed
greens.
peas and collard greens. Yep. There's the North Carolina coming out.
Black-eyed peas and collard greens. Even in Pennsylvania, I make sure I eat black-eyed peas and collard greens.
Yep. Every January
standard.
1st.
That was standard.
Every January 1st. And I cannot stand collard greens, but I mean, even when I can remember being very, very young and my mom would like force me, you have to eat at least one big mouthful of collard greens.
I love
Even though
collard
you
greens.
hate it and you can't
I love
spit
them.
it out.
Absolutely love them. And I can't wait till Thanksgiving, getting together with my family. I'm going to have my daddy make collard greens for me.
I do not. My mom and her family, they love them, but ugh, I can't eat them.
That's all right. We get together and I'll eat your share of collard greens.
Yeah. I mean, I love some fried cabbage. That's a southern thing. And spinach. I'll eat spinach, but I can't do
spinach,
collard
but
greens.
I don't care for it. I mean, I'll eat it if it's in something, it's fine. But just to eat it for the sake of eating it, I'll do it. But give me some good old collard greens, man. Seasoned up right. I could eat a whole mess of it.
Whole pot.
No, I mean, I love like some baby spinach leaves in my salad. And like I could eat the whole bowl of spinach dip.
Oh, spinach dip, yeah.
God, that is so delicious.
But that's not like eating spinach either.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole other thing.
Plain cooked spinach, do you like that?
I mean, I don't love it. I would eat it if it was on the table. I'd have, a very small helping, but I don't love it. But spinach leaves in my salad are delicious.
Yeah, I like spinach in my salad and everything, but man, it ain't as good as collard greens. I'll eat other greens too, like mustard greens and turnip greens or whatever. It's not the same. It's not the same. I need me some collards, man.
Well, around, I don't know if it's this time of year, maybe it'll be a couple of months when the collard greens start coming in. But
It'll
mean,
be
my
the
mom,
late fall and winter.
they do cook them,
Well,
look
I'm gonna
them,
come
and
visit your
clean them.
family.
That's what they call it, is look the greens and then clean them, and they just, yes.
Yeah, you got to look them to make sure there's no little rocks or dirt or bugs in them, especially the
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
bugs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look your beans to make sure there's no little stones and whatever, but it's mostly bugs in the greens.
Yep.
Yes.
And, you know, if you miss a few here and there,
It just adds protein to the
protein. As
to your dishes.
long as I don't know it's there, it's all right. But you got to look them good.
Okay. What else? What other things can we say about superstitions?
I mean, there's a lot of Jewish superstitions. I'm not going to sit here and go into all of them, but I can send y'all some links about them because they're interesting and fascinating. But
Tell us some.
Well,
Tell
what?
us
Yeah,
some
what's?
interesting ones.
Yeah, what are the most interesting ones? I would really
I
like
would
to know.
Um, well, I think they're all interesting, but one that just pops into my head, let's see, we don't have baby showers, generally speaking, for pregnant women because that invites the evil eye and invites the demon Lilith to come and steal the baby before it's
Oh,
born. So
Hmm.
you don't have a baby shower before a baby's born, and you wait until after the baby's born until you do anything like gifting things to the mother, whatever. Um, let's see. Um, putting salt in your pockets in the corners of the room is one because it has purifying powers to get rid of evil. But I mean, y'all already know that that's a standard
yeah.
one. That's not just a Jewish
Yeah.
thing. But
Right.
that just popped into my head. There's so many I can't think of them all, but a lot of them are like warding off the evil eye and things like that to get rid of, you know, bad wishes coming your way and things like that, curses and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of them.
Wow. So how do you ward off the evil eye?
Just about any superstition within Jewish belief is to ward off the evil eye. Like literally, that's what they all do. um,
Like
there,
the Italians will spit to ward
yep,
off the evil
yep, we
eye.
do that too. Poo and on things. Which usually is what you do now. You're not literally spitting. It's usually just
Yeah, just
poo.
pretending.
Yeah,
Puh, puh, puh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing a red string, which is a Kabbalistic thing to ward off the evil eye. The evil eye amulet wards off the evil eye. Chewing on thread. Uh, let's see. When somebody dies, you put a torn piece of fabric on your clothing to symbolize tearing your clothes, and sometimes chew on thread or whatever to symbolize that you're still alive, and that way the angel of death won't come and get you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's all kinds of things.
Well, do you think that superstitions and old wives' tales, I mean, more so than superstitions, can be considered a kind of folk magic or ancestral
Oh yeah,
wisdom?
yeah, definitely. And I
Yeah.
think superstitions are old wives' tales for the most part.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pretty
And I think
much.
they are a kind of folk magic and ancestral wisdom because, like, all of these superstitions that I know and that I still follow, even though I really don't believe them, is because my grandmother told them to me the whole time I was growing up, you know? you better knock on wood. You just said, something, you better knock on wood so it don't happen. And just all of those things really came from her.
Oh, here's another Jewish one that just popped into my mind, which goes along with me being a librarian and my day job and all that. You don't walk away from a book and leave it open. If you have to leave, you close the book, or else the devil will come and steal the knowledge out of the book and use it for nefarious purposes.
Oh, I never heard
I
that.
never heard that one at all.
So
That
yeah.
is interesting.
And that works for you, Tegan, as an author. Never leave your book open. Even if you're writing one on the computer, close the browser. Don't leave it up when you walk away. Close your browser as a symbolic closing the book if you have to walk away, so that the devil, I mean, not that I believe in the devil.
Yeah, I know.
But,
So that bad things don't come.
yeah.
That is
So
interesting
the evil
because
powers of demons and whatever don't come and steal the knowledge from your book and use it for evil purposes.
wow, that's interesting because like the book I'm currently working on is like open on my computer all the time.
No. Close the browser.
I will. I'm gonna have to start doing that. Shut that shit down when I go. Because I do not want any of this stuff being used against me that I've been writing.
Right.
Wow, that is interesting. And this one is, I mean, it's pretty much a given, but do you think belief has its power, even if the origin of the belief is nonsense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
if you
that everything is mental and in the mind. If you
yeah.
believe it, then that puts power to it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you really, truly, truly, truly believe that walking under the ladder is going to bring you bad luck, it's going to bring you bad luck. I mean, anything that you invest belief in is going to give it power.
I mean, that has to do with the whole what is that law of attraction thing? You attract what you think about, and what you put energy and thought to, you're going to attract to yourself, whether that's good or bad. So I try not to think about the bad things, but as what I'm doing in terms of a superstition, the good thing to ward off the evil, so that I'm attracting the good, and at the same time repelling the bad. Because if I'm poo-poo-pooing on something, whatever, I'm not doing that to dwell on the fact that, there's somebody giving me the evil eye. I'm thinking about I'm repelling the bad and focusing on the good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And as long as you brought that up, one thing I will mention about the law of attraction is the universe does not understand negatives. It's called the law of negation. So if you sit there thinking, I don't want this to happen, I don't want this to happen, the universe only hears, I want this to happen. They only hear this is what you're focusing on.
This to happen.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So, when you're working with the law of attraction, always think about what you want. Always think about the positive things that you're trying to draw to you, and find a way to reword your desires so that you're not saying, I don't want this, or, whatever.
And that's why I teach my clients that are working with affirmations to create their affirmation in the form of a positive statement and not a negative. Not, I don't want to be poor or whatever. You need something that's positive, like I am wealthy, I attract money, something like that, instead of I don't want to be destitute, I don't want to have money struggles, because like you said, the universe only hears money struggles, and so it gives you money struggles.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, we're getting way off topic now. We're into law of attraction, but um, you also want to speak in the present, not in the future. Like,
Right.
I'm going to be rich. No, you say I
Exactly.
am
I
wealthy.
am rich.
Because
Yeah,
then if it's future tense, you're always going to be striving for that. You're never going to actually achieve it because the universe is going to give you what it hears, and it's hearing
exactly.
will be. So,
Yeah,
okay, will be, but not am.
Right.
exactly. One day is something to strike out of your vocabulary. You know, one
Right.
day I'm going to finish this. One day I'm going to be rich. One day I'm going to be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, always think in the present moment that you
When in
have
doubt,
already
say
what you want.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody have any creepy superstitions that you've ever heard or read?
I don't know. Define creepy.
I don't
Right.
know. I'm trying
Creepy
to
to me.
think. I'm trying to think if I know of any creepy superstitions. I mean, I guess Bloody Mary, is that a superstition? It's
I
kind of
guess.
creepy. You say Bloody Mary in the mirror.
I mean, I guess that's one I don't really believe is going to happen because I've done that plenty of times, and
Yeah, I've
Bloody
never seen
Mary,
Bloody
Mary
Mary.
Worth. A bunch of people you're not supposed to say in the mirror.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know
if
if
it
I
were
necessarily
true, it would
believe
be
it.
really creepy, but
it'd be beyond creepy if it was true.
Right.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't
testing
know.
those waters though.
No, I'm not gonna go in there. I'm not gonna go in there
No.
right now and start calling Bloody Mary. Hell no.
No.
I, I don't know if this is a superstition, but did you ever, when you were young, play light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Yes.
Didn't we all?
Did it work?
No, but I think
Um,
that's because we didn't really think it would.
I
I
think,
think
I
we got
mean,
it to work once.
yeah, I do too. I think we did get it to work once,
I
and
know
that's
people
really weird.
do. I know people do, but I
Very
guess the
weird.
people I was with just didn't believe it would, so it didn't.
I was, I mean, I'm trying to put myself back into that time. I can remember being at a slumber party, and
Mm-hmm.
there were probably like 8 or 10 girls. We were at a slumber
Yep.
party. I don't know how old we were, you know, I don't know, 12, 13.
Yep.
And we decided to do light as a feather, stiff as a board, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't levitate, but one of my friends did. So how in the hell did that happen?
Oh, it was on some next level stuff.
I know. I mean, that's weird. It was only that one time that I can remember. It's not like we could do it all the time,
Yeah,
but
it's
that
not.
one time it worked. So that was weird. That's not, I wouldn't call it creepy. It was just weird.
Here's a weird Jewish superstition: licking a screaming baby's eyelids and spitting 3 times to get it to stop screaming. Like,
Huh?
just looked
That
up.
would,
I was just looking for weird and creepy Jewish superstitions just to see what came up. I've never heard of that, but licking a
Wow.
screaming baby's eyelids and spitting 3 times. It says the good news, no evil eye. Of course, there's always possible of pink eye.
Hmm.
What the heck?
that would be great if it worked. I mean, if you could just shut a
I
baby
guess
up.
I guess you would because the baby would probably be so startled it would stop crying.
It's
I
like,
don't
what the heck is going on? And
know.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's not creepy. That's just weird.
Oh no. I can't stop laughing over that. That's just
Okay, so what else? Does anybody else have anything on superstitions?
I don't know. If you ask me questions, I'm sure I can come up with something.
I don't have any more good questions. I mean, there's the omens of death, like a bird flying in the house
Yeah.
or clocks stopping. I mean, do you believe in any of those?
I mean, sure. I mean, whatever can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard about, if a bird flies around the house, that it means death, which
Yeah.
scared me a little bit when we had a little pet cockatiel and he would fly around in the house. But I think
Mm.
it only applies to like wild birds. If a wild bird comes in and is flying around your house, it means somebody's gonna die.
Yeah. Or
So
birds
that
flying over the
happened to
house.
me and my mom one time when we were at the beach, the condo we were staying in. We
Mhm.
opened the door to the balcony and a bird flew in and
Oh.
we couldn't get it out. But I don't remember anybody dying.
Hmm. I mean, another one is dogs howling at midnight, but no, I mean, this is the
At
country. You
exactly
hear
midnight?
dogs howling all the time.
All the time.
So I definitely do not believe in that one at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too like gonna happen.
Right.
Have either of you ever carried a rabbit's foot?
When I was little,
Yep, me too.
Yeah, I think I had like a rabbit's foot keychain for a little while,
That was the
but
thing though. Everybody, didn't we all
yeah,
have one?
yeah, I
yeah,
think that was
back in
just
the
like
day,
a
we all did.
cultural thing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have good luck, but I didn't really.
Speaking of rabbits, do you say rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month for good luck?
I never heard that.
No.
Yeah,
Why would we do that? What does it
because
mean?
rabbits are lucky, and so if the first thing you say on the first of the month is rabbit, rabbit, you bring luck for the month.
Well, I never heard that one.
Well, I'm going to try to remember that because the first of the month is coming up pretty soon.
Yep,
Yep.
it sure is.
Of course, by the time we release this episode, it'll be way after the
Yeah,
first of
it'll
the
be
month.
past July 1st, but it's from when we're recording this, it's coming up on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yes, I'm going to try to remember. I'm going to try to remember July 1st. The first thing I say when I
That's
wake
the
up.
hard thing, is remembering it the very first
I
thing you
know.
say. Like, I will remember it on the first, but
Mhm.
it's not always the first thing. But I still say it anyway. Just even if it's not the
Yeah.
first thing, I still say it when I remember it.
Well, luckily I live by myself, so I don't like have to talk to anybody as soon as I wake up. So
I
I
will
might not
try to
say
send
anything out
you.
loud.
I may try to remember to send you a message before I go to bed on Monday night, so you'll see it on Tuesday that says rabbit, rabbit.
Rabbit, rabbit. I'm gonna try to do it. I wanna be lucky in July.
Mhm.
Also, blow cinnamon in your door if you don't already do that.
On the first of the month,
Yep, yep. Blow
blow
cinnamon.
cinnamon in your door or
Yep,
like
stand
stand at your door
outside
and
the
blow it
door.
out.
Stand in
Outside
outside the door and blow cinnamon
and blue
in.
cinnamon. And that's what?
That's to bring in luck and good fortune.
I could use some of
Okay.
that.
So, like, sprinkle some cinnamon in your hand and then blow it into the door.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
Of course,
Huh.
we Jewish people have these things on our doorposts. It's called a mezuzah, which is a
Mhm.
little case that has a scroll inside of it that has part of the Torah scripture
Torah.
inside of it, and it's there to guard our house from evil so that nothing can happen, because we're bringing blessings upon us, and then we kiss it every time we go through the door. So
Well, that would be similar to having a sigil or, some kind of good luck charm at your door or whatever.
yeah, it's just a luck talisman. Of course, the super like religious people who don't believe in magic and whatever, like, no, it's just, it's not a talisman or whatever. But those of us who are a little superstitious and woo woo and whatever, we're like, yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I bought a
That's
travel one that I have in my car so that, I have that with me when I travel.
Okay.
Well, I have
It
to
doesn't
say that is
actually have the
pretty
scripture
cool.
in it for the one in my car. It has the traveler's prayer in it. But it's the same idea.
Okay, well, I guess that will about wrap it up for this full moon lucky number 13 edition of Hex and Harmony. Do you guys have anything else?
I think we covered quite a bit.
Okay. We want to hear about everyone else's superstitions. Which one do you follow? Which ones do you swear by? And send us an email or a comment on the website and let us know what's going on. We'll be back on the dark moon, I think. It will be the next time. And we're going to be starting a trip around the elements. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.